It's that time of the week again. Fantasy gamers are headed out to the waiver wire trying to see who they can pick up to help their team. There are a lot of players out there, but some players are going to help and some players are not. One player that I'm interested in right now is Wan'Dale Robinson, rookie wide receiver for the New York Giants. And there's a lot to talk about this guy. He's been out with a knee injury, came back last week, had 4 targets, caught 3 of those for 37 yards and a touchdown. The coaching staff's already talking about how they want to use him more. Had a 16% target share and a 34.4% route participation rate. Only had 15 snaps, but that was a 23% snap share. So decent for your first game back. His collegiate profile and what we were talking about during the draft process and him getting this opportunity now is very interesting. So let's dial things back to what we were looking back last spring during the draft process. And one thing I liked about his profile is he broke out with 2 different collegiate programs, broke out at age 19 with a 30.31% market share of Nebraska's passing production back in 2020. And then last year in 2021, broke out again with Kentucky at age 20 with a 43.11% market share of Kentucky's passing production, which was huge. He transitioned to the SEC level, was blowing up. He was making plays on the daily, deep passes, blowing by dudes and everything else. He averaged 3.56 yards per route run, 10.4 average depth of target, 105.7 QB rating when targeted, and also had a 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns. One of the most productive wide receivers in all of college football. This production contributed to him getting second-round draft capital. And then we got to the combine. The combine and his athleticism numbers is very interesting. He ran a 4.44 40-yard dash, 26th percentile size-adjusted speed score, 36th percentile burst score because he was 5'8", 179 pounds. All this together lets me know that coming out of college into the NFL level, he is a wide receiver that's more than likely not going to bust. He's going to give us some sort of fantasy football production during his career. It could be like wide receiver 3-ish, wide receiver 2-ish. It could be a little bit of something. His athleticism metrics from the combine lets us know that he's more than likely not going to end up like a Jamar Chase. He's not going to blow the doors off us. He may have a wide receiver 1 season. He may sneak away with a top tier season here and there. But overall, he's probably going to be in that wide receiver bubble for his career, which is good. We're getting more great wide receivers coming from the collegiate level. We're going to have more profiles like this. He has second-round draft capital and a very good production profile where he broke out with 2 different schools. The odds of him flatlining and busting throughout his career is very rough. It's probably not going to happen. He's going to deliver some sort of production. We're looking at this from a redraft standpoint, not a dynasty fantasy football standpoint, is this could be his opportunity to prove himself because there's injuries in the wide receiver core. Kadarius Toney's in the doghouse. Sunday, Daniel Bellinger led the team in targets. Marcus Johnson, Darius Slayton also were heavy contributors in the passing game. So the competition isn't heavy here. He could really stand out. He can be that guy getting yards after the catch because he does have some speed. He can be used on the deep ball a little bit because he was used like that in Kentucky last year. There's some ambiguity here of how he can be used. But the coaching staff has already mentioned that they gave his workload a little bit light last week due to him just coming back from the injury, but they're looking forward to use him on more snaps. This could lead to him with more workload going forward, and his production profile from college indicates that he should deliver some fantasy football production during his career that's worthwhile to us. We just don't know really when, but the odds of him completely busting is not good. The odds of him giving us something is very good from that standpoint. His athleticism profile is good enough because the 4.40 is good enough to compete at the NFL level. Size adjusted speed wise just indicates that you may not get that top tier production Justin Jefferson-esque for a long period of time, but that does not mean he can't be useful from a fantasy football perspective, especially for redraft Redraft, you really just need this guy to get some opportunity, get some targets, and then roll in the right matchups. He's a good matchup play, a good guy to have as a flex, a good guy to have on the back end of your roster. If you're hurting at wide receiver and you don't really have anybody, put him in and close your eyes. That's about all you can really do and hope that he gets the targets. You may want to wait a week or two to see how the distribution of targets ends up being for him, but I look for him to start getting some run here due to what's left. Due to what's left on this wide receiver depth chart. They did spend the draft capital on him. They're excited to use him. They've mentioned that. There's some athleticism here. He has proven to be productive with 2 collegiate programs, so he can transition quickly to a new scheme. We've already seen that. So he should be able to transition quickly to the Giants' scheme. So we should be able to start seeing this soon if this is really going to hit for us. I don't expect him to blow the doors off fantasy. I don't expect him to be a top-tier wide receiver 1. I don't even expect him to be a top-tier wide receiver 2. But I do expect him to deliver some sort of production during his career that is worthwhile for fantasy, and that could be now, considering the opportunity is open for him to insert himself as a lead guy in the offense. The opportunity is there. He can really make his mark, and this is his time to really prove himself, take over, be a leader in the wide receiver room, and show us that he can be a productive asset. I think the opportunity is good. I think he's worth picking up off waivers. You just have to know that this could run a little choppy for you because he is a rookie and rookies do rookie things. But waiver wire pickups for week 7, that's just how it is. You're not going to have many that you just pick up and then just go bonkers on you. So you just really have to know what you're picking up here. I suggest picking them up if you need a wide receiver and just stash them, see what you got, and then react off there. If you're hurting a wide receiver, he's a guy that you can probably throw in your flex and just hope for the best with. He's not going to blow the doors off, like I said, but maybe he can get you some production because his production profile from college indicates that he should deliver some production over the course of his career at some points and give us back some value. We just don't know when, how, or how much, and the odds of him being a top-tier fantasy asset are not great, considering he has late second-round draft capital and considering his athleticism specs. 5'8", 179-pound wide receiver with a 26th percentile speed score indicates he's just not going to be a top-tier guy. That has been broken before, though, so that could be wrong. We're looking at guys like Cooper Kupp, but there are different things in their prospect profiles as well. But Wan'Dale Robinson is at least not going to flatline on you throughout his career. So he's a guy you need to pay attention to. Let me know what you think about Wan'Dale Robinson in the comments below. Let me know. I want to hear about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'm dropping all kinds of waiver wire content this week, along with trade content to help you out making those transactions to help your fantasy team. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.